Hey, what's up? Good to see some of y'all in chat already. It's kind of last minute today getting things together. I've been pretty busy with a bunch of different things. Been getting the screenplay prepared and everything. Been applying for a lot of jobs, and also this week I was accepted into the Association of Ghostwriters, which is quite difficult to get into on the professional level. Like you could anybody can subscribe to their newsletter, but you have to have like a certain amount of ghost written books at a certain level to get in there. And luckily, I qualified from some of the things that I did for my last client, which will hopefully help me out on the job front. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it would be great if I could get more ghostwriting jobs instead of just having one company I work for. So that would be pretty sweet. We'll see how it goes though. And yeah, I've been also this morning I recorded this video. I can release it on this page. It's not too relevant to the stuff that I do here. It was about, the promotion company that I had in the music industry, and about kind of why I left the scene. I had left it somewhat ambiguous over the years, and really what happened is that I was effectively forced out of the industry for refusing a corporate merger in like 2010. And in the year that followed, a lot of things happened that ended up resulting in me having no more resources to continue. So I'm gonna like be going back out again and stuff, and I just wanted to like kind of say my piece on a lot of that shit. So I recorded that this morning, and that is one of the reasons why I ran super late. But yeah, it's been a pretty interesting week in the world. I was watching the robot Olympics, as they're calling them in China, but I mean that's just like marketing. It's really just them showing off their robots. But some of it was pretty funny. This one robot, the world record for like fastest sprint. That guy, I know his last name is Bolt, which I have always found to be incredibly ironic. Like, okay, the fastest man in the world, his last name is Bolt. Who's writing this shit? You know what I mean? Let's see some of this though. While we're warming up today. Mitch McConnell. Uzian, okay. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Yeah, that's his name. It's actually funny. It came up in my memories today, like my Facebook memories, was an article about that guy when they accidentally used Kevin Hart's picture for his for a headline about him. Yeah, this is it. See, look. This was like 6 years ago. Usain Bolt, the fastest man alive, test positive for, yeah. And then it has a picture of Kevin Hart. But yeah, this is the red thing on the left there is what broke his record. Let's see if I could, can I expand? No. 我们看看 I love how they have them running into walls, and it just looks hilarious. But the disturbing thing about this is, you know, these are gonna be military. I'm sure that the United States and China both are um, working on military implications or applications of these, and that's and the stretcher, the robot stretcher that they bring out. But yeah, this is definitely going in the military direction. And I remember when I was younger thinking, um, when I was young and naive, see this guy, he tries to run the corner and he can't do it. He just gets like stopped up. But yeah, I used to think like, oh, if we just fought wars with drones, then the drones will just fight each other and nobody will die. Like, I didn't think that when I was, like, an adult or anything, you know what I mean? It was, like, before drones even existed, when we were talking about robot wars in, like, elementary school or something like that. I would think, the robots will just fight each other, and it'll be fine, and then we'll have, like, a game, it'll be a game, and it's like, nope, they'll just use people will use their robots to go and kill the other population, uh, you know, without risking harm to their own populations. They had soccer too. And this blue team is looking dumb as hell. Like, and then they're just running around them. Yeah, that's a good point. Now we know. But the thing is, though, is that watch, they're going to have this event again next year and is going to look a little bit scary, probably. Like, right now, it's funny, but there's going to be a point where it's like, oh, this is this is sketch. Especially because I definitely think we're gonna be dealing with probably robot cops and shit in our lifetime, and that's even worse than what we got now. It's like I have a hard time figuring out how I feel about technology, you know what I mean? Because 'Cause I'm very much I'm very interested in technology, you know what I mean? That's why, like, I kinda got sucked in a little bit at the beginning of fucking crypto. I got sucked in the beginning of, AI a little bit because I'm like, "Oh, this is interesting. This is an interesting tool," you know what I mean? And then, just capitalism happens and, you know, it's like, "Oh," and then the military, investments come in, and it's like, "Oh, yeah, this sucks now." This, though, is I'm not sure. This is the one that I'm not 100% sure if it's real, just because of the fact that, like, I haven't seen it all over the place yet. A lot of the other ones I've seen news report on, so I know that they're real, but this one just looks absurd. Like, ho how? Are you only designed to do that? It's crazy. Yeah, exactly. Like, why can't we have, what do they call it? Um, Gay luxury space communism or something like that? Whatever happened to that? But yeah, and then this is the story that you tipped me off about before the stream. Nevada hunter vows to kill famous Yellowstone Molly's black wolf. 1090F in Wyoming. A Nevada hunter and social media influencer is vowing to come to Wyoming to kill the leader of the Yellowstone National Park's oldest wolf pack. What a lunatic. It's, I mean, I think a lot of this is like dumbass influencer culture these days where you got to say the most over the top stuff, but I believe he is probably going to do this. And he's probably has a bunch of dumbasses paying him to do it. Like, you know, all of these instigators, you know what I mean? People like Chud the Builder, who is obviously like, on another level, but it's all the same. Like, I'm gonna provoke a reaction. I'm gonna get a bunch of people to pay me to do something terrible. And really that is the motivation. Yeah, it would be what would be the best is if we see one of these stories like hunter mauled by pack of wolves, you know? It definitely tends. Let's look at this guy's actual page. And this is, I guess, because the wolf is um roaming outside of the park borders where people are allowed to shoot at it. Which is weird, you know, that this isn't some kind of protected animal, you know? Do any of you so-called wolf activist fart faces with big mouth and no brain know the Wolf 907F? No, you did not. She was the oldest, the most studied female in Yellowstone Park. She died while fighting a rival wolf pack. What? What are you doing? What is this mental gymnastics? Like, actually, wolves die in other ways. They're not always killed by hunters. So, you dumbass libtards. It's no big deal if a hunter kills one because sometimes they kill each other. Why do so many of these arguments seem to rhyme? You know what I mean? What a lunatic. It's crazy. But I do often see stories where people are these hunters will go out on these safaris and some elephant will just stomp on them. Oh, I had another funny one that I wanted to start with. Hold on. I wanted to start with some funny ones today because I did find some other stuff. But yeah, keep an eye on that wolf story and we'll track that guy and see if he's heading down there and if there's any opposition to it. Yeah, it's twisted. I like so many of these guys want to do like this, like, you know, macho back to the land thing, but really it's like, are you do you have do you need to consume that animal? You know what I mean? Like in that way? Or are you doing it like the natives? Are you hunting like the natives did, where like you use every part of the animal and you know, you respect the spirit of the animal and such? Um, no, you're just like going for a trophy to put a head on your wall. I think that's a lot different. Oh yeah, I definitely got Spider-Man. Spider-Man versus Ice Boy. Listen to this one real quick though.
Hello? Hello?
Who the fuck are you to be in my house? Get out!
Where are you?
Out, mate! Why the fuck are you in my house?
You need to come back so we can speak to you.
No, I don't need to come back. I'm not in
You
the
do
area.
need to come back. Right, well, you're
I'm
going to
not
have
in the
your door's
area.
wide open. Your door's wide open.
Well,
And
I
you've got
know
reason
that, and
to
you
believe.
shouldn't be in my fucking house. There, you little sausage! Get the fuck out of my house, piggy pig, now! Not easy work being nosy fucking Peppa Pigs!
The nosy Pepe Pigs thing.
But we're not being nosy, are we? For a lawful purpose, which we're trying to explain
Well,
to you.
yeah, well, get the fuck out of my house, you dirty little bastard! Invading my fucking privacy, you prick! Fucking nonce!
It's
Get the
all on
fuck out of my
camera.
flat!
It's all
I
on
could have
camera.
been
Right, let's have
dead!
a little evidence.
Look up, you
Right?
fucking piggy, fucking Mr. Ha-ha in the back! Fucking not speaking to you, noncy bollock! Speaking
Oh my god, it's so good though. Oh. I've never seen that before, but apparently I saw the date on it. It looked like it was 5/23/2000. So it was just like 3 months ago that this happened. Hilarious. Yeah, that killed me when I saw it. I had to share that. Like, let's take a look at the Spider-Man thing. I don't know how long I'm gonna be on today, but I definitely wanted to not skip a week. Spider-Man and Jake Lang. I think we actually got the identity of the identity of Spider-Man has been revealed. The Daily Bugle at it again. That was the name of it, right? I never saw any of the movies, and I haven't read the comic book for many years, but it was one of my favorite comic books. It was really one of those things where I was like, it just once again, we're living in really crazy times. Like, look at this shit. Dude rides into town like this to face off against the Nazi march on the back of a car. And then he runs up on the guy and beats the hell out of him. Where's the... I think I got video somewhere. He is facing some serious... I think both of them are facing serious charges, but Jake Lang is facing charges in like every state at this point. Yeah, here's the video of the... Oh yeah, this is even funnier, dude. Like, look at... Look at the... Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, so he rolls up in the car like this. And then he has... Oh, wait. I was pointing at this. Yeah, he rolls up on the back of the car like that. And then he like creeps into the back of the protest. And he's eyeing the dude up like in character like this. Spider-Man. And he, you know what I mean? Like, that shit's hilarious. It's like a full-on Antifa cosplay. Let's see if this has the, yeah, there we go. I think there's another angle up here. Yeah, right there. He just jumped and just started wailing on him. And then that picture that I used for the thumbnail, you could see like his glasses coming off of his face. It's wild. And there's these guys. This guy. See, he has like that thing on that says agent. That is not I don't believe that's ICE. And I don't think it's a cop either. From what I heard, they brought people with them that were dressed like ICE dudes. This is canon, I'm sure, because of the multiverse. It really is a bizarre, bizarre time we're living in. But let's see what's up with this dude. This is William Nichols Love, another like on the nose name that whoever's writing this movie that we're all in. Man identified by Minneapolis police as William Nichols Love has become the focus of online attention after Spiderman costume counter-protester was seen confronting far-right activist Jake Lang. Oh, that's the mugshot. I think he's already raised like 50 grand or something on his GoFundMe. Then there's this other video. This guy's apparently Jake Lang's homeboy. His name's like what the hell's his name? Eon Richards. But look at him like running like a cartoon character. In the air, dude. Like, dude just picks him up and just carries him out of the building. All of these people are like, this is the first time I'm learning about this guy, but this guy is twisted as well. He got paint dumped on him at Starbucks? Oh, all right. I don't remember that guy. That was my first time seeing anything from him. I was also seeing let's see this thing. The Department of Homeland Security was investigating this thing called the Sunrise Movement. I never heard of it, but it seems very tame. It seems very like kind of lived up. We're a movement of young people fighting fascism to win a Green New Deal. So yeah, I don't think that they're like you know, black bloc anarchists that are throwing bricks through windows and stuff. And I say it's like that is literally like the worst thing that the worst threat that they have from anarchists at this point is somebody breaking a window. But even in this case, the feds went to their meeting and saw that they focused on nonviolence and de-escalation. So then the undercover agent says that he works construction and he could use his materials to escalate direct action and that he isn't afraid to go to jail. So like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I mean, it doesn't seem like they're doing anything I'd be against per se. It just seems like they're not very radical. And the government is trying to goad them into like, you know, domestic terrorism. And I don't know what like a construction worker's materials like could escalate, but regardless, it shows the kind of agent provocateur tactics that these feds use in these groups. And that's why every time there's some terrorist plot foiled, like there was this week, wasn't there? And it was the same kind of deal where the government was just encouraging someone. I think they gave him a bunch of money, told him to go to a Home Depot. It was a Muslim woman, I believe. Let me see. Yeah. This is it. FBI arrests woman over alleged plot to bomb New York Capitol building. And this was the same kind of situation where she had no plans on bombing the New York Capitol building, but somebody from the government came up to her and said, "Hey, it would be a really good idea if you bombed the New York Capitol building. Why don't I give you a list of things you could buy and some money?" And then once they did that, they were like, "Okay, you're under arrest." And then they go on TV and they said, "We've done a really good job at stopping terrorism." It's really ridiculous. Yeah, that's a very good point, is that they want this kind of stuff to happen because they can use it as propaganda, and that's a large part of the point of why they do it. They don't actually do it to nab people who would be capable of terrorism. They just go for the easiest targets, usually people with some kind of mental illness or disability, and then they convince them to be like, "Hey, you're real mad at the government, and the government sucks. You should really do something about it." It's wild. And yeah, now they're doing it to these kids. I wonder if they're even posting about it. They're not even posting about it. And they're just like trying to get people elected. I mean, people who I like, but generally, but it's not anything radical. Oh wait, maybe they are. Maybe they were talking about it a while back. No, they have no recent posts about this. That's quite interesting. Let's check their replies. No. Interesting. Let's see if this has any more details there. Action meeting. During the meeting, they discussed events such as Hilton Wide Awake, protests that targeted hotels known to House immigration and customs enforcement agents within the Twin Cities areas. The meeting provided additional history on sit-ins and various protest techniques that had worked in the past. During the action meeting, it was made clear that the Sunrise Movement organization focused on peaceful protests. He spoke to them privately and informed them that he works in construction and could build items that might assist other groups with more direct action protests. He told them that going to jail didn't bother him. So, literally, if you ever hear somebody say that, they might be a Fed. They're like high chance they're going to be a Fed. Like who says that? Who says like, "Hey, let's do this bad thing. I don't care about going to jail." Oh man. Let's do this illegal act of violence. Not suggesting that other forms of direct action are bad, but that's not what they were. I'm sure that's not what they were getting at. Probably what they were getting at is like, I'm going to supply you with a fake bomb and then I'm going to arrest you. Remember when the government did a sting operation to supposedly catch some predators, so they lured a bunch of them into a state they weren't even from? That is interesting. I think I remember hearing something about that. It is crazy though. Yeah, there's a lot of entrapment shit that happens. If you're in any kind of organization, like even DSA at this point, like if you're like a DSA member, you got to watch out for people like this. Oh, flock. Interesting. There was some things that I saved about Flock last week, but I don't know where they're at now. I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, you know what? It's not about Flock itself, but it's about this story. So this old guy found $30 in the store, and he picked it up and put it in his pocket. And then the police put his image out all over the internet like he was some kind of criminal. And oh yeah, I should put on that Flock con video in a minute. Yeah, so they posted his image everywhere. Eventually, they tracked him down, and he handed the money back. Like, hey, okay, this is your money. I found it. Here you go if you want it. And then they posted this. Where the hell is it? Okay. The male involved in the incident returned the money to the victim. The victim initially wished to pursue charges, but after the money was returned, advised that no longer wished to press charges. No charges will be filed. Yeah, it's a little bit ridiculous. And it also made me think, I've been seeing a lot of posts like this. I've been seeing a lot of posts of somebody random's picture with a very stupid crime. Like, these guys dumped the refrigerator where they weren't supposed to, or some shit. It's like, yeah, it's not good to litter, especially on a level like that, but you're blasting these people online for some random ass, barely a misdemeanor. And I do think it is kind of a culture that they're trying to create. That maybe it's one that we already existed in, you know? But I'm seeing more and more of these kind of public shaming of people. Have you seen this person? And I think that's going to get quite a bit more prevalent as we as the Flock thing expands. I mean, I hope it doesn't. I hope that we're actually putting some pressure on them in ways that will make some change. But also, it's they're just replacing them with Axon in a lot of circumstances. So let's check out this video from Ben Jordan, who works with 404 Media. He does a lot of awesome work about Flock and just privacy and internet freedom and all sorts of stuff like that. And he got them pretty good. Let's take a look at this.
I bought a $350 ticket and booked a hotel room at the Hilton in Atlanta. But then Flock said...
This was him trying to go to Flock's convention and not being allowed. Being blocked. So let's see how that went.
No journalists allowed, which is really kind of weird, considering that your tax dollars are usually paying for the tickets your public servants buy. Then a Flock employee contacted the hotel on my behalf and canceled my room without notifying me. So I couldn't even be in the building.
We received an email from a Shannon Jones requesting that the reservation be canceled.
Flock could keep our bodies out of the convention.
Oh, I guess it was a journalist that works with Ben.
But they couldn't block our electromagnetic frequencies. We captured packets from every single Wi-Fi channel we could find, using dozens of Wi-Fi adapters in monitor mode. Then we used a 2.4 gigahertz parabolic dish antenna to passively capture the Bluetooth information of just about everyone at the conference. Then we used a log periodic dipole array and multiple SDRs to demodulate the wireless microphones used in their stage and camera production. These silly gooses even forgot to turn the microphones off when they weren't presenting or recording, so we captured some of their mingling. Then I flew my drone with a zoom lens over the convention as it was letting out. Cool! Looks like lots of police and politicians got tons of free swag. Do you recognize these attendees? If not, that's okay. We can just use facial recognition. Oh My God, I can't believe I was only a drone flight away from Minnesota Senator Julianne Ortman. This little drone flight allowed us to find out that Senator Ortman is a managing partner of Public Safety Strategies Group, which is led
Yeah, using their own tools against them is always hilarious.
by Rich Stanek, the former sheriff of Hennepin County covering Minneapolis. And guess what? Flock pays them as consultants to find confidential leads to new police contracts around the country. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So thank you, Flock, for banning journalists from your dumbass convention. We had more fun out here and learned a whole lot more. Stay tuned!
And that is actually one of the examples why I think it is, beneficial for many of us to be aware of, to be somewhat knowledgeable of technology and the technology that's coming out. You know what I mean? Even though a lot of us, even though in a lot of ways it's not good what's happening, especially because the people who are controlling it are controlling the direction of it. It's still definitely a tool that we can use against them. It just becomes unfortunate that just because they control it, they can direct which way it goes. Oh, all good. You could check it on the replay, AJ. Thank you all for stopping through. It was good to see Candy Kid in here too. Check out his new album, Fresh as Fuck, on Spotify. It's really good. But yeah, let's see what we got. Oh yeah, did you see that, like, a bunch of MAGA people tried to, like, plant like child abuse material on this guy's computer or something like that? I haven't watched the video yet, but I heard people talking about it, so I wanted to check it out on stream. I'm not even really sure that familiar with this guy. He seems to be like I guess Democrat influencer or something like that. But I guess he caught them in this, luckily. Like, what the hell?
This is the most serious video I've ever made. A Trump supporter stole the identity of an innocent 13-year-old girl to falsely accuse me of rape with supporting evidence of poorly botched fake DMs in an attempt to illegitimately deplatform me.
What? That's insane. Like, we are getting... I don't even know if, like, this kind of shit has been tried on a public figure like this before. This is, like, absurd.
In response, the 13-year-old whose identity was stolen made a video calling out the false accuser and anybody peddling these lies using her photos, stating that she's been getting harassed and bombarded with messages. An innocent 13-year-old girl. As we speak, not all, but millions of Republicans across the internet have continued to knowingly peddle this false allegation and could what only be described as an attempt to get me killed or to get me to myself, leading to the police calling me, informing me of a bomb threat, and the continued visceral harassment of the innocent little girl who had her identity stolen. Let's unpack.
That is insane. And they stole somebody's identity, a child's identity, to do this. Like, how do you...
First and foremost, this TikTok account, under the name of Emily, accused me of rape. They posted this fake DM to prove their allegation. The account posted 2 screenshots of the same faked DMs, for the purpose being that in the second screenshot, they're scrolled further down the page to also include my response. We know that they're fake because in the first screenshot above their message, there is an included date and time. In the second screenshot above that same message, there is not an included date and time. The only explanation for this inconsistency is that the screenshots are fake. The account also claimed to be a young girl posting many photos such as these to make their allegations seem more believable. This girl is not accusing me of rape. She had her identity stolen by this account. She made a video to clear this up.
So tonight I was looking through my TikTok comments and I find some comments saying that someone's impersonating me and using my photos to accuse someone Dean Withers of sexual assault. This was the picture someone put in my TikTok comments, and this was the picture I posted on Instagram. Same with here, this was posted in July, and now I find this 4 days ago on TikTok. On this photo, you can see there's a little scribble at the top of the screen. This is because, as you can see in the next photo, that's where the lyrics were in my Instagram photo. After finding out about this, I made a video tagging her saying that it's not me, and she ended up blocking my main account. I'm now getting multiple DMs and comments about this whole situation, and I wanted to make this to let you guys know that I'm not involved in any of this, and I didn't make any of these videos.
Even in light of the fact that this allegation is obviously fake, not only hurting me as the victim of them, but also the innocent little girl whose identity was stolen to make them, many Trump supporters haven't cared. MAGA influencers like the older millennial Asmongold and thousands of others have continued to peddle these false allegations across social media so hard to the point that for the last 48 hours straight, this has been a top news story on Twitter, amassing over 50,000 posts of mostly Republicans calling me a rapist. For those, some even on the right, that have made videos condemning these false allegations, thank you. You know,
That's wild shit. We are entering like really crazy psyop territory. Unreal, man. See what else I got here today. Oh yeah, there was this thing. I don't know if this is actually going to be real, but there's some company that wants to live stream people and have prediction markets based on the live stream. So, you know, like I guess some Truman Show shit where everybody's betting on what people do. Now, my first thought is it's probably going to be, you know, like influencers that sign up for it, that agree to live stream. But my other more cynical thought was like, is this what the flock cameras are for? They want to, you know, get every bet on everybody. But of course, that's like Black Mirror level insanity. But I really, at first I was like, is this a Black Mirror parody? Like, is this like a joke to try to promote the new season of Black Mirror or something like that? But no, is a real thing that people are trying to build. Will her Uber arrive in the next 2 minutes? Will he get her phone number? Will he score the next goal? Well, I mean, that you already have people betting on. Yeah. It's pretty bad. It's definitely pretty bad. Oh yeah, then I forgot about this too. A lot of you probably seen this. Now that I'm doing like once a week, I'm probably sharing stuff that some of y'all have seen. But this was the guy that went to the MAGA rally with the "Kill Your Local Pedo" shirt and started a riot almost. Like, I'm pretty sure they started booing because he said something, like he shouted like something at Trump. But like, yo, that takes some guts, bro.
That person's going home to mom, gonna get scolded because mom is going.
He's gonna get scolded by mom.
But I said, you're gonna lose all of your tax credits. You're gonna lose everything.
this picture is so wild. Like, I feel like that's like a history book photo, you know what I mean? And there are people that are still eating up what he says, and that's what I don't understand. Like, I mean, I had a hard time understanding why people were into him in the first place, but like, you know, at this point, it's obvious that he lied about anything favorable, like the war stuff, or, but you know, most of us knew that that was bullshit. Um, Bringing prices down, etc. I mean, all that bullshit. But at this point, you got to be lost in the sauce, man, to still be buying that shit. And I think most of it is motivated by like what people think that their personal advantage is going to be. Like, people are obsessed with this idea that somehow immigrants being here makes things less, you know, less easy for them, makes things more difficult for them. They're obsessed with the idea that feminism, anti-racism is diminishing their place in society. So no matter how bad he is, or anybody who has his kind of policies are, it's not going to matter, because at the end of the day, they think that other people having rights means that they have fewer rights themselves. And I think that that's the big issue that keeps people sucked into it. It's not Trump's like infectious personality or whatever. I think honestly that too much emphasis has been put on his charisma and all that, when really I think it's a shared hate and a shared fear that MAGA has that keeps it together like that. And it's all on you know, so much of it is built on propaganda. Like, people will say, I don't hate immigrants, but all of this propaganda that I've heard about immigrants. To say, oh, I don't have a problem with trans people, but all this bullshit propaganda that I heard about trans people that makes you, you know, support policies that are actively harmful towards these groups. And so much of it is built around these perceived threats that these groups having rights poses to the population that they belong to. I think it was like a couple of years ago. I probably during the 2020 thing, or maybe a little bit after that, when I started seeing like, oh, okay, people, you know, the arguments that people use to justify their political beliefs aren't like aren't the actual reasons why they have their political beliefs. They're like rationalizations that come after the fact, you know? Like, They believe a particular thing because they think it benefits them, like most of the time. And usually they're incorrect. Yeah, I think that there is a lot of that. I mean, there is also a lot of damage that the Democratic Party has done to themselves as well. But there has been propaganda against progressive policies in general, and there's a lot of propaganda about anything that threatens capitalism, anything that threatens the people at the top from, making easy money. If that wasn't worded, it was worded kind of awkwardly, but hopefully you get what I mean. I think it would be good if the DSA started their own party. I think it's kind of bullshit that, like, they have a lot of good energy that ends up just getting funneled into supporting the Democratic Party instead of that won't even support their policies, and that will be like, yeah, we actually hate you, instead of just like forming their own third party. And a lot of people have, third party politics doesn't work in the US and all that, et cetera, et cetera. But it doesn't until it does. You know what I mean? Like in other countries, I think in Mexico, that president down there, Scheinbaum or whatever, although is not perfect, I believe was still better than the predecessors, and I think got in through third party politics that was thought to be impossible there. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong there because I heard that like second or third hand and didn't actually like read it somewhere. But I'm pretty sure that's the case. And it's happened a lot in Latin America too. Even though they're having their own wave of fascism as well, their political system is a lot more decentralized now because people put a lot of effort into building these extra parties throughout, not just during the presidential election, but throughout the whole cycle. And I think they would have to do it with the understanding that you are not going to, you probably aren't going to win this election. You know what I mean? And that's the whole thing where it's like, oh, but we need to win this election. This is the most important election. And like, yeah, it is a very dangerous time right now with what Trump's trying to do. But yeah, also they say that every single election too. So there has to be some point where we try to do something different instead of just trying to defend ourselves. And yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that whole situation. I think there's definitely a lot of propaganda about progressive policies though, and about how it'll affect people. And you have people who don't want healthcare and stuff. Like it's, and I remember for a time me being convinced that actually we didn't need healthcare because the doctors were bad anyway and they can't even do anything for you. Which, I didn't get to that opinion without evidence because I had a lot of bad experiences. But at the same time, that was not the correct perspective. Oh yeah, that's the thing about taxes is they don't care. Yeah, they would rather their tax money go to kill people far away than actually help people anywhere. that is the disturbing thing. And it does really sometimes about our species. It's like, what are we doing? How are so many of us like this cruel and crazy, and why? Like, what is wrong? Doesn't have to be this way. We could all be chill, you know? There's no reason for it. The fact that we have, you know, entire civilizations being wiped out and people are just like, concentration camps popping up all over the country. And we all know like how terrible these things are. It's not like we're like a dumb species figuring this out for the first time. We've all, you know, grown up with the terrible stories in the history books and about how this can happen, and then it just keeps on happening. And it's usually many of the same tactics that are used through the years. Like all that shit that all those people that worked for Hitler said, Goebbels and all them, about propaganda and how you control the masses. It's the same way people are propagandized into supporting genocides and things like that today. So yeah. I think I'm all out of ranting and rambling. Just in time, unfortunately. Unfortunately, yeah. Definitely have to catch the rewind though. But yeah, just as everybody's jumping in here, I'm finishing up. Apologize about that. I might try to start doing some more of these. I feel like they're getting a little bit easier for me to do without a bunch of prep. So maybe I'll come on here a little bit more often and try to do some stuff. We'll see what's going on. Maybe I'll try on the videos more, but lot of things I'm juggling, so we'll try to figure it out. But yeah, hope you all have a good week, and I will catch you soon. Peace.